folks, and welcome to the Social Liability Podcast, the podcast where we discuss those folks in our lives that violate the social contracts that we all agree to live by. I am your host, the Raspberries, with my co-host, the Buck Grundle, bringing you new and interesting stories from the far reaches of the internet. Ah, 99th episode, Buck. We are now
Man,
99 episodes in.
that's that's pretty that's pretty impressive.
It's it's
That is,
it's impressive that we've stuck to it this long, and that there's that many just idiots in the world that give us content.
hey man, you know what? I mean, we're just capitalizing on it. That's all it is, you know. But yeah, that's 99 episodes in, and those there may be some out there among the masses who wonder how exactly did they do this. And I'll let you know. It's because we have something that everybody wants. Yes, that's right. We do. We possess that thing.
Pot?
It. No. It. It. You know that thing that everybody wants to have and they don't know the name of it? They just can't quite put their finger on the name of that thing. It's called it. And that is exactly what we possess. So what exactly do we have in the gallery of rogues today, Mr. Raz?
Well, this first story comes out of West Palm Beach, because of course it does. We love Florida on this show. This is being reported by local10.com. Woman stopped for DUI after sniffing spray deodorant. A West Palm Beach woman is facing DUI charges after deputies found her with a car full of cans of Right Guard deodorant spray. Her speech was slurred and bloodshot and watery eyes. According to the arrest report from the Martin County Sheriff's Office, 31-year-old Katrina Rosalind Theodore, we had to get the whole name in there, was pulled over in Stewart on Southeast Federal Highway and Southeast Carroll Street for a traffic stop. The sheriff's office said that when deputies asked Theodore to exit the vehicle, he saw her reach down as if to conceal something. When she did get out of the vehicle, deputies saw 2 cans of Right Guard deodorant on the floor on the driver's side seat.
Stop. I must ask you a question now. Do you have a photograph of this winner in front of you? Do we have a photograph that you can look at?
I do. She's
Okay, so
she's
now
a
now
wait a minute. She's an African American woman, a little bit of a rounded face, and her hair looks like Don King.
does this look like the type of person that would demand to be referred to by their full name in a news article? Like somebody who would sit there and babysit the phone all day until they got a hold of somebody at the paper and said, "If you're going to use me, you must put in my full name and title." And they probably conceded. Does this look like that kind of person?
Quite
Because you were
possibly.
wondering,
Quite
yeah,
possibly.
because you're. I just wanted to know because I was like, why would they put her full name? And I was like, we better spitball on this before I forget the thought. But either way,
There were
moving along.
there were also cans on the passenger side floor, and deputies said there was a strong smell of deodorant coming from Theodore's person. Maybe she's just clean. Who knows? Huffing Huffing is defined as a practice of inhaling toxic fumes from glue and other household products for their intoxicating effects. The defendant was not steady on her feet and was leaning on the vehicle. I noticed her eyes were bloodshot and watery. I was able to smell a strong odor from the spray cans emanating from her person. I also noticed her pupils were constricted. The deputy said that because of his training and experience with seeing the cans and smelling the odor, he suspected that Theodore was huffing the spray. What training do you have to look for deodorant abuse?
Yeah, I guess, and experience, is that something you really want to brag about?
This is true, but
You have
it's actually a
training
very
and experience.
it's actually a
Hmm.
very common phrase put into police reports. As you know, I used to teach report writing, and
Yeah, well, this is.
it's a very common thing you put in reports to get around the lack of evidence.
I understand, man, but when you're throwing out the word experience, perhaps you should use a little more tact.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Training and expertise, perhaps.
There you go. There you go, sir.
Yeah. experience really is like it leaves a lot of room for self-incrimination. And if I were a lawyer in this woman's defense, I'd be like,
Well,
and we have local law enforcement with experience here.
after
But
several
either way,
tests, the deputies determined that Theodore was unable to safely operate a motor vehicle. Inside the car, deputies found multiple spray cans of Right Guard, and the car had a very strong odor from the spray cans. Theodore was arrested for DUI on Sunday, March 6. After being transported for questioning, Theodore also told deputies she had consumed a few drinks. She also admitted to huffing. I asked her if she was huffed today, and she said yes. After being transported, the deputy contacted fire rescue to come to the scene and examine the driver. Due to the dangerousness of huffing, fire rescue responded to check the defendant. They conducted their evaluation, and it was determined that Theodore did not need to be taken to the hospital, according to the report. But she did need to go to
well,
jail.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. There's a lot of bravos that I'm going to hand out here. Okay, bravo to the officer who responded and actually had EMS respond. Like, had EMS come out there before he did anything. He's like, all right, you're going to get checked out before I put you in a car. Like, that was a very responsible and hip thing to do. You know, because we've had a lot of stories lately where police officers have been doing some real funky wonky shit. So this is one where, I feel obligated because I don't hate the police. I actually really like the police. I just hate some of the shit that they do. So, I just want to point out the good, attaboy, pat on the back.
Attaboy. Our next story
Yeah.
comes from the... Oh, wait, we gotta give a score! We gotta give
Yeah.
a score!
What are we doing here, man?
Well, it's a DUI, and I automatically have no sympathy from my heart for anybody who gets a DUI.
3.
I'm going 4, just because I have no sympathy. I've had far too many friends killed in car accidents involving drunk drivers.
I'm going to stick with my 3.
You do you. The next story comes from the Associated Press. New York City man rescued twice in 2 days on Arizona hikes. A New York City man who needed to be rescued twice on consecutive days while hiking in a northern Arizona mountain range is urging others to pay more attention to winter weather than he did. No shit. Unless you are an experienced alpine mountaineer, do not attempt Humphreys Peak in the winter. There is so much snow that it's difficult to follow the trail and very easily to fall off of it. Moreover, the wind is absolutely brutal, he said in an online post. The 28-year-old Brooklyn man first called 911 Wednesday at about 7 p.m. to say he got lost while hiking on Humphreys Trail in San Francisco Peaks overlooking Flagstaff. The sheriff's office said this in a statement. The statement didn't identify Vasto by name, but did say that but he spoke to the Arizona Daily Sun, telling the newspaper in a story published Tuesday that he was an experienced hiker, but had underestimated the difficulties and the conditions. I was thinking, if I start early in the morning, I'll have all the time in the world to reach the summit. The trail runs through 5.5 miles of steep, rocky terrain between the Arizona Snow Bowl Ski Resort and Humphreys Peak, the state's highest point with an elevation of 12,633 feet. During the first rescue, tracked vehicles from the ski resort that traveled. This is like really like the word. It's not coherent. But Vasto drove off the mountain and declined have any medical attention once they rescued him. But at 5 p.m. the next day, Vasto called 911 to say he needed help after injuring himself in a fall near the ridge on Humphreys Trail. An Arizona Department of Public Safety rescue helicopter was sent to pick up Vasto and another hiker who had stopped to help him. Vasto was provided with preventative search and rescue education about the condition of the trail and approaching winter storm and encouraged not to attempt the hike again. The other hiker who stopped to help Vasto, Philip Wyatt, said it was very apparent that he wasn't prepared for the climate and what he had gotten himself into. Wyatt decided to stay with Vasto and provided his number to search and rescue teams so that they could make contact in the likely scenario that Vasto's phone ran out of battery life because he was using it to check his route on the trail locator app. I really respect Phil's perseverance, Wyatt told the Daily Sun. I hope that he's able to make it to the top sometime. You would think after the first day where you had to call search and rescue to come get your ass, you would be a little bit more trepidatious than going out again the next day.
Oh, I want to go back to something. Did it say he drove off the mountain? Like,
Well, so there's a bit of an incoherent sentence in here that I just could not read, but it said that snow drove Vasto off the mountain, and he declined medical attention. See, during the first rescue, tracked vehicles from the ski resort that travel on snow drove Vasto off the mountain. So they sent snowmobiles up,
oh, okay.
or
Okay.
or a,
So,
or a tracked vehicle or something. It just
okay.
I had to kind of decipher it a little bit.
I just wanted to go back to that. I wanted to make sure, I'm not very impressed with this man's, hiking resume, boasting to be an experienced hiker and trained hiker, I believe, whatever he postulated there. Um, I just, mm, that's, that's somebody who's got a real problem with self-inflating, dreams of grandeur.
He
I,
does think a little too much of himself.
I mean, like, dude, save your embellishments for your online dating profile. You're going on a trail. Like this other dude, like hopefully you're entertaining. Like, hopefully it's a person who got stuck being an idiot who's got like an affable personality because this other hiker stopped and sat with him all day until he got rescued. Like this other dude, Good Samaritan, Mr. Wyatt, congratulations, sir. Like I'm gonna kudos you all day long. That guy wrecked your fucking day. I hope he was entertaining. Sitting there checking his location on the trail app. Like, no, dude, like grossly underprepared. I'd have just left him there. I'd have been like, and this is why Charles Darwin,
And this is where you die, sir.
yeah, like survival of the fittest.
I mean, it came up in conversation too, where Vaso looked at Wyatt and said, "Yeah, when the search and rescue team came and got me yesterday."
Yeah, you know what? I hope Peter's flying the chopper today. Peter was a really nice guy. Like, yeah, and
at that point, you're like, "Wait, what?"
And Wyatt, Mr. Wyatt's just sitting there with his head in his hands, going, "Oh my gosh, this is why we have directions on shampoo bottles." Like, oh my god. Either way, man. No, now see, this is somebody that I gotta give a 4 to, believe it or not.
I do.
Like as funny as this is, I mean, like this dude just like Mr. Magoo is only funny in cartoons, man. Like you can't just freeball your way up a mountain. You can't just do that. Like don't go to Walmart and pass down the Ozark Trail aisle and be like, yes, Alpine expert. Yes. No. You've wrecked people's days. The amount of like listen,
the amount
man,
of resources
like I cannot
that go into this.
Yeah.
Let's just go off the helicopter fuel alone. Let alone the fact
That's
that
what I'm saying.
everyone's days are messed up. You got shifts getting held over. You got you probably got volunteer crews out there. You got trained alpine enthusiasts, for lack of a better term, that are coming up there to get your ass, and all the things that could happen to them as well, because obviously the conditions were not right for your ass to be up there, and now you're asking other people to come up and get you. Sorry, I agree. You could get a 4.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like, come on, man. Piss poor planning on your part really shouldn't create an emergency for others. So yes, 4 all day.